Hello and welcome to another session of solving problems with Elixir. In this session, we will be setting the ground for how to start Elixir and how to create programs in Elixir. So I'll be just going through some basic items, and I'm assuming that you have Elixir installed in your system already. If not, please use this link and get Elixir installed on your system. So once you have it, what we are going to do is we're going to start off with creating a mix project. So mix is a tool that the Elixir installation provides us to automatically create projects, so we don't have to bother about creating file structures manually. Once we have created the project, we'll notice that it creates a bunch of files and folders for us. We will be clearing out some of the scaffolding files so that we are able to start right from the scratch. So those will be our module files, and therefore we'll create a new module. So all of the Elixir code is defined inside a module, and each module will have one or more functions that actually do the work. So we'll be creating some new functions, and then we'll learn how to launch the IEX, which is the interactive Elixir that you can run on the console. It is very useful tool for quick experimentation as well as compiling your code and running it from there. So we'll compile our code, run it a few times after making some changes, and get comfortable with that change, compile or recompile cycle for our iterative development. And after that, we'll see how to exit Elixir. So with all that, it sounds very exciting. Let's get started. So up here I have the code editor. On the right side I have my terminal. I'm in the home directory of my project, which is problem solving Elixir. So once we are there, we are going to start a new project, and in order to start a new project, we do mix new and name of the project. So let's call this project as greet. Once we launch this, we note that those are all the files and folders created by this command. Specifically, we'll be focusing on this lib and test directory. So let's go ahead and remove the greet.ex and then the greet_test.ex. So in order to do that, I will go into the greet, and we are going to remove greet.ex, and we are going to move the greet_test.exs. So once we have done that, let's create our new file once again. And before we do that, let's launch the IEX now. So in order to launch IEX, we are going to start with IEX. Let's start with a clear slate. So IEX dash capital S and mix. So let's use this command, and now we have IEX up and running. We can't do much here because we don't have much code. So if I go here in my directory, and in the lib there is nothing, and that's why we can't really run any code. So let's create our file. So here we are going to create a file in lib directory called greet.ex. So once we have that, we can start writing the code there. So we are going to start with our def module. That's how we define a module, and inside a module we are going to create our function. So function is defined by the def, and we are going to write the function name, which we're going to call it greet space and start a do and block. Since this function does not take any argument, we don't have to start open close the parentheses here. So here we start our do block, and then we write our expressions inside this function body. So our first function is going to have simple hello world, and we're going to save it. So once we have saved it, we are going to go back to our IEX session and recompile our project. Once it is recompiled, using this recompile function, we can test our function. So we'll start with the module name dot the function name and enter. So our expression that was in this function body is executed, and the string hello world is produced. So just to see this cycle once again, let's create another function. In this case, we are gonna say greet me. It's gonna take one argument, let's call it name, and start our do and block. And we are going to write a string, and what we want is, instead of saying hello world, when we give this function the name, it should put the hello and then name and then followed by exclamation. So in order to do that, inside this string we are going to start hash and curly braces, and inside we write our name, and then we can continue with any other characters. So with this, let's go back to our IEX, recompile, and greet me, and we write a string, enter, and it says hello Martian. So this is how we write our functions inside a module and then test our functions in the interactive Elixir. So to get out of interactive Elixir, you just have to do Control-C but twice. So first Control-C gives me this, second Control-C gets me out of interactive Elixir session. So to recap, we were able to create a mixed project with mixed new and project name. We noticed that it creates a bunch of files for us, and couple of files which were in the lib directory and the test directory we removed so that we can start from scratch. We created our new module file with greet.ex, and inside we created a function, and then we launched our IEX by IEX-mix, compiled it using recompile function, ran our function using module.function, made some changes, we added a new function, recompiled, and run it. So this cycle is the iterative cycle of development, and then we exited IEX using Control-C twice.